Hi, I'm Coach Paul, and that's Coach Andrea, my lovely wife. And we're certified through the League of American Bicyclists. And I love saying this. The League of American Bicyclists got started in 1880, before cars.
Wow.
Bikes were around before cars, and the rules of the road were established just as cars started getting onto the road. There were a lot more bikes, horse-drawn carriages, and trolleys than automobiles. Automobiles caused all the trouble. Actually, some of the bikers, cyclists were too. And someone figured out, they actually commissioned a guy to create some order, and that's where they came up with the rules of the road that we take for granted now, like riding the right side of the road. Until early, like 1910, that didn't exist. Anyway, do you want to come over? We'll do the ABC quick check on your bike too?
I guess so.
Great.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
All right, do you have a kickstand? Yeah, beautiful. Okay. Just push it on down. Oh, no, use your foot. No rookie move, no hand. You gotta,
And then you're gonna
there we go.
It gets stuck all the time.
Okay, I'm just kidding you. So, we want to check the bikes, and we use the acronym ABC Quick Check to remind us. So what do you think A stands for if you want to check the bike?
Air.
Air, very good. So that's pretty squishy. Now, some tires can hold their form pretty well without looking obviously flat, but I could tell when she was riding that was flat, and you could tell it should be firm. And on the side wall of the tire, it's really hard to see. It gives you the pounds per square inch. It'll give you a bunch of numbers, the size of the tire, and it'll generally tell you how many pounds per square inch of range of air pressure you should put in. So we looked this up, and because it's really hard to see, and I really have to struggle to put my glasses on, I know mountain bikes are generally around 45 to 65, so I'm going to go with that. And if you don't want to bother with all that, just go with firm. You don't have to go crazy with it. So most pumps have two nozzles. One for what we're used to the bigger valve, which is a Schrader valve. One which is smaller, which is for Presta, and you'll see that on some other bikes. It's a smaller valve like that. That's a Presta valve over there, and it's got a little barrel adjustment. But at any rate, so what I'm going to do is put this nozzle over the valve, and then you can see this little yellow lever. I'm going to turn that, and it squeezes it down to make a good seal. So I put it over the top. Now you could hear a little bit of hissing, and then it stopped hissing. And now I have a gauge on this pump that I can then see how many pounds of pressure I have in here. And I have a little yellow target, so I can put that up there, and let's see. And it'll roll so much better. So now it's good and firm. I can take it off and put the little cap on. The cap doesn't keep the air in, it just keeps the dirt out. So if you don't have a cap, don't worry about it. So, would anyone like to try to put the air in the other one? You want to try that? Well, I'm going to give you a head start. And something that you see here is that the valve is starting to be at a little bit of an angle, and that's a sign that the bike has been ridden with really low pressure because it starts getting shifted around. So sometimes that can be a little tricky. Sometimes it helps to take some air out, but it can be hard to get the nozzle on. I think I can just do it. So I'm going to do this one, Julie. I'm not going to give you a hard one, all right? I don't know who invented the ABC Quick Check, but that's what we're doing here. We're making sure the bikes are road ready. So we check the air, squeezing the tire, so ABC. B stands for something on the bike that we want to check. Does anyone have any ideas about what B might stand for?
B might stand for brakes.
Brakes, beautiful. Yes.
Thank you.
So, this bike has two handbrakes. You can even hear that, right? So I always like to have people look at it, become detectives, and see, okay, I pull this lever, and this lever goes somewhere in this cable. Where's the cable go? Where's it go? Where's it go? Oh, it goes back here. And there's two little rubber bumpers, and it should be squeezing the rim, and it should stop the tire. Stops the tire, very good. Sometimes we have old bikes, they've been in the garage, in the basement somewhere for a long time, and it might squeeze, You hear something, but it's not actually stopping the tire. So that's what we want to make sure. Something else you can think about is right rear. R for right and R for rear brake. So this is what a rear brake does. See what happened? The back tire stopped.
Yeah.
And it kind of dragged along, right? You saw that. Watch what happens. Yeah, watch what happens with the front brake.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the front brake is much more powerful, and because all of your weight and traction is going into that front, and the wheel can come up and your body can maybe go over the top. So you want to be a little more careful with that left brake and use your right brake a little bit more in the beginning. But that takes practice to learn how to use both brakes. But you want to check them both, so you want to make sure the ABC Quick Check is check the brakes to make sure they work. So now this is left and front, and it looks like it's stopping it pretty well. Yeah, good. So that's okay. All right, how about C? How about C? What does C stand for? That's a hard one.
Chain.
Oh, nailed it. Chain, yes. Chain, cassette, cog. So you want to check and make sure that it rolls through nicely. Thankfully, Mike has a nice chain here. Maybe a little on the dirty side, but not rusty. Not rusty, but in good shape. Again, sometimes we pull bikes out, out of the basement, or someone gives you a bike or whatever, and it's rusty and everything. It can be fixed. It can be fixed. You want to make sure you got it's on, it's not off. All right, so ABC, we got through that. Quick. What do you think quick stands for? No one's going to get this one. Anybody? Quick release. So this is a quick release. It's kind of hard to see. This is a quick release lever, and it's so I can adjust the seat easily without using any tools. But it's very easy for this to be open and not notice it, and then the bike might slip. It's not so bad on a seat, but when they're on the tires, front wheel, oh, on the front wheel here. Yeah, so right here, that's good and snug. Ideally it'd be behind the fork, but that's fine. And again, moving bikes in and out of cars, on racks, things can open up. We wouldn't want the bike front wheel to fall off. So quick release, and then the check part of it, ABC Quick Check, you just check it all over. Now I gotta say, I'm really impressed because we have a bell. Believe it or not, that's the law. Bikes need to have a bell. Anyone ever get pulled over? You ever pull over anybody for no bell? Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But it also has a light, so if you're riding at night, yes, there we go. I want to ride my... So a front white light and a rear red light. Got a reflector, even no red light just yet. Oh, it's in the seat, I bet, maybe.
It's there, but
Oh,
hidden.
that's a
So
reflector.
that's why the one, oh, okay.
That's a reflector, but that's only for riding at night. Most kids probably aren't riding at night. So ABC Quick Check, safe zone, and a lot of sidewalks have a lot of rough edges and things like that, so it can be hard to ride on sidewalks.
Yeah, that would be great.
One of the things that's most important is that we like to remind everyone to be visible, be predictable, and to be courteous. So what does it mean, everyone who has a nice pop, what does it mean to be visible? Anybody?
That means that when you're invisible, people can't see you.
All right, what does it mean to be visible? That's very good for invisible. We want to be visible when we're on our bike. What do you think?
What do you think?
How do we be visible?
I think be seen.
Awesome.
We're being seen.
We're being seen, right. And how do we be seen? What's a good way to be seen?
Putting light.
Lights, good.
Like reflectors.
Reflectors, very good. What else? So, looking at, that's all right, looking at the clothing here, who do you see first? Because of bright colors. Ah, I'd say Juliana. She's a little brighter, a lot brighter. So it's really helpful to wear bright colors. Somewhere in the middle is very important. And although lights can be helpful during the day, it's really important to be seen. You got to be seen, and so bright colors make a big difference in people picking you up wherever you are fast. So we want to be visible, we want to be predictable. That's a tougher one. What does predictable mean? Anyone, what is predictable? What does it mean to be predictable? Anybody? All right, so to be predictable, people kind of know what you're going to do. They can predict what you're going to do. And when you're riding a bike, we want drivers of cars, motorists, to have a good idea of what we're going to do. And a lot of motorists get angry, and it shows up as anger, but they're really scared because they don't want to hurt you. But they just don't know what you're going to do. Ever see a squirrel cross the road? Is the squirrel predictable? No. They get out there, right? They're all over the place. You don't know what they're going to do, and you don't want to run them over.
Yeah, even the bunny.
Yeah, even bunnies sometimes. They're just kind of like, all right, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to sit here. But we want to be predictable. So we can be predictable by being able to ride a nice straight line. Another way to be predictable, if we're going to turn, how might we be predictable if we're going to make a turn?
Slow down.
Slow down, okay. Sometimes that tips people off. Oh, they're slowing down. Are they going to do something? Motorists ride along. What else? Oh, sorry. Turn signals. So if I want to make a left-hand turn, what do I do? Stick my left hand out. You know what I learned a long time ago? A little kid showed me this. I said, all right, everyone, put your right foot in. I saw him looking at his fingers. What is this?
L.
L.
L trick. Left or right?
Left. And he put his right foot in. It's like, oh, I like that. So we want to signal with our left hand when we're going left. We also want to look. We want to make sure it's safe before we go that way. But we're talking about being predictable. So hand signals, very good. Hand signals, being wearing bright clothes, riding in a straight road, nice line. Signaling where we're going to go. If we're going to change directions, that's being predictable. Sometimes talking, communicating. So if we are going to stop and a car is trying to get by us and we want them to pass us, this is a secret, this is like secret sauce here to being safe. Like signal to the car, hey, it's okay, go ahead. It's all right, I'm stopping. So I know you're going to pass me. They love that. You make them so happy because they don't know what you're going to do, but you're signaling them that it's okay, and you're expecting them to pass. Yes.
Also, you can like step back from you can like roll your bike.
Yeah. Very good. So if you're on the edge and they're not sure, are you going to go? You're not going to go. You back up and you kind of go ahead. It's like, oh, okay, now they know. You still want to be really, really sure. So be visible, be predictable. And another way of being predictable is how you position yourself, and that was a really good example. If you sort of back away, like you're not going to cross right away. But if you just kind of stand there on the edge of the intersection and they're not sure, technically you're supposed to put one foot into the crosswalk to sort of signal to everybody. You don't keep going. You put one foot into the crosswalk to signal to the drivers that you want to go across. But if you're just standing off the edge, they don't really know. Sometimes people are just waiting. Anyway, we want to be courteous. Really important to be courteous. So how do we be courteous? And again, you're probably going to be riding your bike on the sidewalk a lot. How can we be courteous? Who else is on the sidewalk? I don't mean this second, but like where you might find people on the sidewalk. Sorry? Okay, the grass, but I'm thinking about who else? Any other people? Yes? Puppies, okay. Squirrel. How about people? How about people? So people are walking on the sidewalk, yes. Birds, yes. But we don't have to worry about them because they generally kind of get out of our way. But people walking on the sidewalk, you come riding your bike, what should you do to be courteous? Okay, you can stop, but what else can you do? Look both ways. All right, but let's say you want to pass them. Someone's walking ahead of you, and you're riding up behind them.
Yes, I just heard it.
Yeah, signal. So we talked about signal. You can get their attention. You can say passing on your left, and you give them a lot of room. You slow down. So, by the way, kind of excited, some of you may have heard this. There's a brand new law in New Jersey. Have you heard about it? The safe passing law? There's a new law in New Jersey that now motorists need to slow down if they're coming up along somebody, any other road user, walking, riding on a scooter. They need to slow down and give you at least 4 foot of space when passing. So we want to do the same thing for people on the sidewalk, and we want to pass them. We want to slow down, don't go buzzing past them, give them a little extra space, go around, and ideally we give them that little ring-a-ding, or say, hey, passing on your left, because the bell just gets their attention if you're lucky. They don't have something in their ears. So we want to be careful, we want to be courteous.
Yeah.
Be visible, be predictable, be courteous. So now, I've been talking way too much. I want to see you ride. Anyone want to ride their bikes?
Yeah, me.
All right, so what we're going to do is practice being predictable by being able to ride in a straight line and stop our bike. So we have this little course here, and we're just going to kind of ride down straight, make a little turn. I'll put some cones down there, ride down, go around the cone, come back. Really slow, kind of single file here, okay? So I don't want to have, it's not a race, we're just going to roll along, and I'm going to give you some skills to work on. Maybe play a little red light, green light. All right? So once you get all up to your bike, this is what a climbing gear does. I'm in the easiest gear, and watch what happens, how far the bike goes. Wait a second. When I make one pedal. Starting here, let's see how far I go. So, one pedal gets me, so the pedal's at the top, oh well, and boom. So that's how far it went, right? I'm gonna come back here. Of course, I didn't mark my start. Now I've got to put myself in a climbing gear. There we go. All right, now watch. So now one pedal stroke is going to take me all the way to here. So like twice as far. So the gears make it easier to climb up hills, and they make it so when you're going down hills and you're going faster, you're not pedaling like a million miles an hour. Little demonstration. How many people have a bike here? All right, let's get over here and check out your bikes. And if we need to put air in, we'll put air in. I've got a few pumps here. All right, so come on over. I'm going to walk around. Let me know if you need air. Let me know if you're not sure if your brakes. Oh,
You're lucky.
you need air right
You got
away.
lucky with your bike,
Not terrible.
Do you guys want to?
A lot of room to make that turn, right, James? Good job.
That's it. Keep coming. Keep coming. So we want to be able to ride a nice straight line, and we want to be able to stop. So when you ride down, be ready for me to give you the stop signal. I want you to stop. All right, eyeballs up, looking forward, looking where you're going, looking where you're going, looking where you're going. Stop, okay. All right, good, stop. All right, now get going again. Green light, green light, green light. That's it, you can pass them. There you go. You can get on. Oh, you got to get his hat. Okay. Yes. Very good. Good, good, good. Come right on around.
Get some space, James.
Come right on around. Very good. Red light, stop. Oh, nice. Feet to the ground, you stop the bike. Green light. Oh, very good. Very good.